Thank you, Andy. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Spring 2022 webinar session on ADEM. Let's have a look what is DEM and what is ADEM. DEM, Digital Experience Management, is an emerging technology that organizations are evaluating as a way to simplify user performance issues while utilizing a single solution to gain the insights into a variety of networking tools. DEM is a real monitoring tool that helps IT operation team to ensure that users are quickly, uh, any issues which users are facing is quickly mitigated and the network is not disrupted. DEM solutions complement existing application performance monitoring and network performance monitoring and diagnostics. Together, they provide an end-to-end picture with the DEM also adding insights into the user experience. It is those experiences that mostly directly translate into the business outcome. Autonomous DEM. Some of the key benefits of the autonomous DEM is SASE native. This is a new technology is now integrated into the Global Protect agent and the Prisma Access cloud, thus not requiring any additional appliances or agents. It gives you segment-wise insights. You now have the ability to pinpoint the root cause of the digital experience problems because you can now observe every point in the service delivery chain. Comprehensive visibility. You will now be able to view the endpoint, WAN, cloud, and app. One of the main jobs of a network administrator is to ensure that your network is safe and secure. It can be difficult at times when your users are local to your network, but is also an entirely different situation when all of your users are remote. Because of the pandemic, this is exactly the new challenge that network administrators have been facing. How to keep your network secure and safe when you have zero IT monitoring. This is where the Prisma Access Autonomous Digital Experience Management fits in, and we are introducing it to help address these challenges like this. One of the advantage of ADEM is that it continuously monitoring each segment in your SASE or secure access service edge environment, from the users all the way to the application, even if the users and applications they are accessing are not on your network. ADEM uses a variety of monitoring techniques to determine the baseline performance levels and alert you to changes in the performance that lead to degrade user experience. ADEM is only supported right now in the Global Protect as well as the remote networks. When the VPN is connected to the Prisma Access, it gives you endpoint monitoring, CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk usage, battery levels, Wi-Fi information, SSDs. Real user traffic visibility. ADEM continuously provides a visibility into the real traffic usage between your users and the applications. With ADEM enabled on the Global Protect app and the Cloud ADEM agent within a Prisma Access uses synthetic tests to the baseline end-to-end network, quality matrix, latency, jitter, and loss. For each segment from the end user to the monitored application, in addition, the ADEM agent and probe use a synthetic test to collect a web performance matrix, which capture the matrix about the HTTP, HTTPS transaction to a specific application, including application availability, uptime, latency, DNS lookup, SSL connect, time to first byte, and the data transfer rate. ADEM solution for the mobile. ADEM functionality is natively integrated into the Global Protect app, as I mentioned earlier, and the Prisma Access, and you don't require any additional appliances or agents to deploy. Because of this native integration, this enables synthetic tests for applications you specify both from endpoint and from a different vantage points in the Prisma Access. ADEM continuously monitors the real user traffic as it crosses each segment from the endpoint to the application and identifies baseline metrics for each application. Getting started with ADEM. ADEM licenses are available for mobile users and remote networks both. One of my previous webinar, in the winter series, we have discussed about the fundamentals, how you can enable on a Panorama, on a cloud management. So if you didn't get a chance to attend that webinar, so I would highly encourage you to go through the recording, which is available on our live community and our YouTube live community channel. Please go through that. So here are the prerequisites. If you want to deploy the ADEM solution in the environment, you should be running on Prisma Access 2.0 or 2.1 innovation or 2.2 prefer. And for mobile users, your GP version should be minimum 5.2.6 or 5.2.8, which is the recommended version. Let's have a look at what ADEM overview. ADEM portal provides you different dashboards. One of the main and important dashboards is the summary dashboard. The summary dashboard view allows network admins to give them the visibility into the user's experience for remote workforce across the entire organization. Real-time data across the entire enterprise organization is correlated, and the first level of troubleshooting is already performed to identify exactly where in the service delivery path the organization is seeing poor performance. You can see here the segment-wise insights, which indicates the number of impacted users at each hop in the WAN path. And by clicking on the each of the given link, and you can navigate to the list of the impacted users filter for that specific segment. This dashboard also provides a topographical view that shows the application experience users connected to the Prisma Access location based on the performance application through the certain gateways. Also allow the network administrators to quickly identify regional hotspots for application performance degradations. Another dashboard in the ADEM is application. Application dashboard shows application usage and experience score across the network. The usage data is based on real user traffic that is traversing through the Prisma Access. You can click on any of those applications. We are taken to dashboard. For example, you can click on Dropbox or any other application what you have, and it will take you to the application dashboard. You can also configure tests, some system tests, custom tests for some application which you want to monitor. Use dashboard is gives you the from here you can get overall view of the experiences and experience trend of all the ADEM users, as well as you can also see the per user view of the digital experience across your SASE environment. And immediately when you drill down to the alerts, the top of the page, you highlight any experience issues and specific users having, such as low device memory or high CPU. This is completely a user-centric dashboard on the ADEM portal, which shows you the individual and overall experience scores for all the mobile users or the remote networks or for all your Prisma Access deployment. And by clicking into each users, it takes you to the open up the dashboard and which will give you the more granular information about the application, network segment performance, insights for a specific user. How to set up autonomous ADEM application tests. So if you have already licenses activated, you just need to sign up, log in into your ADEM portal on the hub, Prisma apps.paloaltonetworks.com. You will see there's a Prisma Access app. Go there. From there, you can go to the application section, and from the application section, you can click on the whatever you want to monitor, and you can create the test. Just click here, add a new test, and You can name that test here, whatever you want to monitor, the source, define the source, the user you want to monitor this test, and then identify that target, your application, what you want to monitor. This process pretty much apply to mobile users as well as the remote network also. And then once the test created, you can associate this test to mobile users or remote networks. Autonomous DEM workflow and use cases. Let's have a look at different use cases. This is how it will look like once you log in into your first ADEM portal. It will show you. The first use case we are talking about today is user connected to a wrong gateway. The problem statement here is user A calls the IT complaining of intermittent application quality and experience issues. So now the network administrator will log into the ADEM portal and use the search option on the dashboard to find the user. And as soon as they will put on the user, click on the search, and it will show the list of all the users. And among all the users, you can see the specific user name will be popping up here, which shows that this user is located in US West in North San Jose location, but this user is connected to the Singapore gateway. That's the reason they may be experiencing a high latency. This intermittent app quality issues seen by the users likely caused when he is connected to the Singapore gateway, but we will further drill down and see how we can check. To further confirm this, we click on the username and it will take you to the dashboard, which shows the information here on specific. This application experience trend shows that the application performance is rising and falling. You can see here's a common trend. This trend chart also has a lightning bolt indicator, which shows that changes in the connection status. We can clearly see here that the user is connected to the Prisma Access Singapore gateway. His application performance experience degrades, and when he is connected to the US gateway, this gets better. You can see here clearly the differences. Once you click on the path visualization to see hop by hop view of the entire network path, all the way up to the application, and you will see there, and turn on the show tunnel option there. And you can see here, it shows you all the details. And on the experience trend, click on that. You can see that path visualization shows user experience for the selected time period. The user experience is healthy and green all the way up to the Prisma Access. Beyond the Prisma Access, we see that the user experience deteriorates, showing amber and red, the path between the Prisma Access and the application. So hovering the mouse over this path, we notice that the average latency we are getting here is a 401 millisecond, which is very high. So once we click on here, back to our trend chart, we see that the time interval where it's getting the green line appearing and having a better experience. If we see this one and where once the user is connected to the US gateway, how this experience is there. We can see that at the end, once we hover the mouse on this visualized path, we see that the average latency we will be getting the 56 millisecond. So this clearly indicates the user is experiencing application quality issues because he's connected to the geographically distant gateway location, which adds latency to the application traffic. ADEM portal provides all the information necessary for a network admin to understand exactly where the problem is happening and why the problem is happening. If you have any questions, please feel free to add in the Q&A section. Another use case is service provider WAN quality issues. Use, users in the US West region are complaining of application quality issues. So for this one, we will go log in ADEM portal and see in the summary dashboard, which shows that the US region having a fair performance score. You can see here it's showing amber, which means that the users in this US West region having a fair performance. You can click on these users and we will go to the monitored users dashboard where you will notice that there are different users. Once we click on that, we go to the monitored users. You can see here all the users list, the 3 users here we can see on this one. And by clicking on this, each users, we can see their experience scores, which showing as an average. We need to identify where the problem is. So clicking on one of the users shows that the problem seems to have been originated from the internet circuit. You can see here from the path from the device, the local network is green. As soon as from internet, this is showing as amber. It looked like the problem starts from the internet circuit, which has propagated all the way till the application. So once we hold the mouse on this path, we can see here the internet icon in the path chart. We notice that the internet underlays experiencing a very high latency. We can see here 806 milliseconds, which is very high latency. And this is a core internet service provider like the issues in the US West region that is impacting all the users in this region. The path visualization chart here will show you beyond the lane and the application performance all the way till the end of the application is not entirely green. And there's a lot of amber indicating the performance impact and underlay path. Hovering the mouse on the different path, you will see that the latency on a different positions. For example, if it's amber in the path, how many hops are there? You can see a 789 millisecond latency in 790. This clearly isolates the network performance issues on the internet underlay, and we can confirm that the US West users are experiencing application issues because of an internet service provider issue. So ADEM provides enormous value to the enterprise organization by measuring the network and application performance on both underlay and overlay paths. Irrespective of where the end application lives, cloud or on-prem data center, and irrespective of the path the application takes you through Prisma Access or direct to the cloud, ADEM is able to provide application performance visibility. The next use case we're discussing today is high CPU causes poor app performance. So a user called the network admin complaining about the app performance issues. His experiences data slowness and disconnects with all of his application, whatever is running. So again, network administrator will start using the search box and search the user. User list will come up and he will click on the user and see where the user is. So clicking on the user's name, it will take the user's dashboard where he can see that in the path chart that the user's PC is marked amber color and it clearly indicates that the device health issue. Hovering the mouse over the PC icon, we can see here that the CPU and the memory utilization levels are very high. And the user experience chart also indicates that is not only having a fair experience for all the applications, this is clearly indicate that the device level issues impacting his application performance as well. If you click on that application and scroll down the below, we can see here that the app performance matrix. You can check here DNS lookup, HTTP, latency, SSL connect, all those different metrics from here. Then you can see that the high CPU and memory utilization for there. This high CPU and memory utilization levels are also likely causing DNS lookup and HTTP connection delays, which directly affect the application experience for the customer. So this dashboard clearly indicates that the WAN path and the overlay health are good, and it is only the PC that is suffering, which is also causing application performance issues. With the segment-wise insights, not just along the WAN path, including endpoint metrics, Wi-Fi, LAN performance assessments, ADEM portals adds a huge value to the enterprise organization that have thousands of remote users distributed globally, accessing enormous application via multiple WAN paths, and enables network admins to instantly identify where the problem is happening in the service delivery path. Let's have a look at ADEM use cases for the different personas. So we have divided this. There are three main personas: IT help desk, network operations, and application owners. It helps the IT help desk to troubleshoot the workflow for the users. They are able to isolate the issue, either it's a WAN, LAN, wireless application related or ISP. It helps managing service delivery and SLAs for the various business units for the network operations team. They can replace IT operations use cases for the network performance management tool. It helps them to isolate the issues and the problems. For the application owners, they can monitor their application from one end users or a location or for all regions, and replace the IT operations use cases for like application performance monitoring. Multi-tenant ADEM license distribution. If you're using a multi-tenant and with Prisma Access 2.2, now you should be able to allocate a distribution of ADEM license units for either your mobile users or remote networks or both, and subtenants. The minimum number of units you can allocate is 200. After you allocate ADEM units for a tenant, you can add it or remove those units later on as well. Autonomous DEM for remote networks. To enable autonomous digital experience management for your Prisma Access remote networks, you must have a license for the Prisma Access for remote networks, as well as you need an add-on license for the ADEM as well. You can then apply your ADEM remote networks license to the compute locations and let the SD-WAN sites connected to those compute locations and run synthetic tests. Prisma Access Autonomous DEM for remote networks is only supported if the remote network is a Prisma SD-WAN device. ADEM for remote network is only supported when aggregate bandwidth is enabled on Prisma Access. If you purchase an ADEM license with a new Prisma Access subscription, you must activate ADEM during the Prisma Access activation process. If you purchased an add-on license for an existing Prisma Access, activation will happen automatically. With an active ADEM remote network license, each SD-WAN device at the remote site is capable of running certain number of synthetic tests on the size of the SD-WAN device. And you can find this information in the tech docs and ADEM admin guide available in our tech docs on Palo Alto Networks website. So in order to activate on the Panorama and enable for remote networks, ADEM for remote networks, you need to log into your Panorama, click on the Panorama tab, go to the cloud services section, configuration and remote networks, and then go to the bandwidth allocation. And here, if you have purchased and activate the ADEM license, you see that ADEM allocation. You can enable the ADEM users from here. Don't forget, if you're doing it the first time for remote networks only, you need to add the URLs to make the SD-WAN site register with the ADEM portal. And also you can use object addresses, create object address, and then you can use those service destinations as FQDNs, also allow them in your network. And if you are using a cloud managed app for your Prisma Access deployment, you need just log in into your app on the hub, go to the bandwidth management, and same you will see here the autonomous DM. And you can there assign the bandwidth. Prisma has event site registrations on the ADEM. So as I mentioned, Prisma Access Cloud Managed or Panorama Managed for remote networks, it will work with the 2.2 preferred release, and the Prisma SD-WAN should be on 5.6 B13, and the cloud blades should be running on 3.1.1 or 2.1.2. And SD-WAN, different SD-WAN ions, which should be on 5.6.1. And with the branch, if you are deployed with this 5.6.1, the branches will have a process ADEM after you upgrade the software. And you can see this information in the SD-WAN controller, which provides this information. Once your SD-WAN site is registered on the ADEM portal, you can log into the portal ADEM and click on the settings left side. You will see all your SD-WAN devices will appear up here. I will be showing up in this section. Application test creation for the SD-WAN remote sites. As I mentioned in the mobile user section, when I was discussing about the mobile users for the ADEM, test creation process pretty much same. You can log into your Panorama or in your cloud managed, sorry, not in the cloud managed, into the ADEM. You need to log into the hub, log into the ADEM portal, and go to the application dashboard. And from there, you can add new test, define the test name, source, and then the target your application. And then you can associate this test to your mobile users or to your remote networks. And you can see here in the application test section, assign remote sites and exclude remote sites. You can always, when the app test is configured and SD-WAN site is able to run the test, is counted towards the assigned remote site count. And when an app test is configured and SD-WAN site is unable to run the test because it has reached its maximum support capacity, it is counted towards the exclude remote site count. Autonomous DEM, one important thing is how we are calculating the scores. Experience score. So experience score starts at 100. If availability is 0, it means that app is unavailable and it will show as a 0 score. For the DNS lookup, if the DNS lookup time is less than 20 milliseconds, there is no impact. If the DNS lookup time is greater than 200 milliseconds, the impact is 20. For the TCP connect, if the TCP connect time is less than 100 milliseconds, there is no impact. If the TCP connect time is greater than 500 milliseconds, the impact is 20. SSL connect, if the SSL connect time is less than 50 milliseconds, there is no impact. And if this connect time is greater than 500 milliseconds, this impact is 20. For the HTTP latency, if the latency time is less than 50 milliseconds, no impact on the score. If this latency time is greater than or equal to 1000 milliseconds, the impact is 40. Prisma Access score. Prisma Access score is based on the VPN overlay test results. This score also starts with 100, and this score includes a delay due to loss. For the delay, if it is less than 10 milliseconds, there's no impact. If it's greater than 250 milliseconds, the impact is 30. For the jitter, if it is greater than 50 milliseconds, the impact is 20. And for the packet loss, if the loss is greater than 10%, the impact is 50. Internet score. The internet score is based on VPN unrelated test results or secure fabric and the Prisma Access connection. And internet start also at 100. It also includes the delay, jitter, and loss. If the delay is less than 20 milliseconds, there is no impact. If the delay is greater than 250 milliseconds, the impact is 30. If the jitter is greater than 50 milliseconds, the impact is 20. And if the loss is greater than 10%, the impact is 50. Another scoring is secure fabric score. Secure fabric score is based on VPN overlay test results. They use the Prisma ADEM LQM, and it starts also at 100. And the delay is, if the delay is less than 20 milliseconds, there is no impact. If the delay is greater than 250 milliseconds, the impact is 30. For the jitter, if it's between 0 to 50 millisecond, impact is 80. Loss, if it is 0 to 10%, between 0 to 10%, the impact is 50. So this is all about our ADEM session. So right now we will do a quick demo. And for the demo, I will hand over to our product manager, Janvi, who will walk us through on the ADEM, and we do a quick demo. So over to you, Janvi.
Thanks, Khurram. All right, let me quickly share my screen. Give me a quick moment here. Okay. All right. Hope everybody's able to see my screen. I want to take this group over some of the, some of the elements that Khurram covered up until now by just walking us through the live working environment, so you get a sense of what the product actually looks and feels like. So you know how to access, we all know how to access Autonomous DEM. We in the Prisma Access, when you log into Prisma Access, we have the sidebar for Insights, ADEM, Manage, and Activity. You want to go into the autonomous, you want to click into the Autonomous DEM section of the left navigation, and you'll be presented with the summary screen. So on the summary screen, right off the bat, what you're going to see is the overall mobile user experience. Now, this is the application experience score that's calculated, which is an aggregate of all the application experience scores across all the users for the different applications that are being monitored. So what this does is give the admin a good view into how the overall user experience is for their org. So typically, we can assess if it is good, bad, or fair based on the conditional rendering or the color that is used. So here you can see that in this organization, the experience score is tending between 30 and 70, which seems to be fair. So there is a possibility that some of the apps or some of the users are constantly experiencing issues, and ADEM was predominantly designed to help you assess what those issues are, isolate, detect them quickly, and actively help you with troubleshooting. So with 67 as the mobile user score, here you get an idea of the number of monitored mobile users overall, which is 8, the number of monitored applications, which is 10, and you're looking at applications that have a good experience score of 4, fair 6, and so far there's no poor application experience across any apps. You're also able to understand what the trend of the user experience is over time, and you can also drill in by selecting a section, right? That gives you exactly, at that time, what the application experience score was. So it helps you like zoom in and zoom out based on the different time series. You have the option to choose, to drill down, zoom in and zoom out from 15 minutes up until 30 days. And you can also choose a custom time field to look at a specific time frame. Specifically, if you receive a call from the end user saying one of the applications is not working, or they're having issues accessing any application in their network, you might want to go in here and look at that specific time period to enable your triaging. So here we see the topology, and we're looking at the the colors that indicate things are okay right now. But the just the sheer number of monitored users and applications, we understand, might skew these averages. So which is why we've decided to add the users, the devices that are actually impacted by issues across every hop. So while we see that devices are performing pretty well across a large majority of your end users, but we actually want to point out that maybe six of your mobile users are doing well, but 2 mobile users actually are noticing issues. So once you click into this, you are redirected to the mobile user page with the information of who these 2 mobile users are. And we'll go into that flow a little later. But there you can drill into every user's experience page. There it gives you what the application experience with that user is, how that trends across time, how's that split between the different applications. And like Khurram showed, you're going to get a detailed path visualization, so you're able to assess what the issues are exactly at different hops. So here you're also able to see the global distribution of application experience scores. So a lot of times, we're presented with situations where a specific geolocation is impacted, and most of them are not. So this view helps you assess that. This view tells you that, hey, my US East location seems to be doing well. All the users seem to, have a pleasant experience, or they're not experiencing any issues connecting to the applications via Prisma Access or by disabling Prisma Access. And you're able to quickly assess what are the other POPs where your users are having issues, right? And here when you drill into this, when you click into this, you're going to see how many mobile users the score is calculated for and what the total apps are. So this is overall a pretty aggregated view, and we'll go into the detailed view overall. And we also let you pin some of these top monitored apps and top monitored mobile users. Oftentimes we notice that some application experiences an outage, or some application is troubled for a specific period of time. At that time you want to monitor these actively. And for that, to facilitate that, we let you, pin them, so you're able to see them on the summary dashboard, and you don't have to drill into the specific pages. And the same use case extends to a lot of mobile users as well. We worked with customers where, one of their executives was on the road and they were experiencing application performance issues while they were trying to access different private applications or SaaS applications on the road, and they needed to actively monitor them for a couple of days, and maybe and when they went back to working from the regular locations, they didn't have these problems. So at that point, you want to make them your top monitored mobile users for that time period, so you're able to assess them actively. So let's kind of dig in a little bit here. So we said that the 2 devices, there's 2 mobile users that are troubled by the device problems. So let's kind of drill deeper into that. So the monitored mobile user page, if not filtered, will give you overall stats, which is how many mobile users you have enabled ADEM monitoring for, how many devices there are, what is the experience score, that is the aggregate looking like for these users. Let's quickly change this so I can show you what that view looks like. So here we're monitoring ADEM across 8 users. We've enabled monitoring across 8 users, and the experience score for them is 70. These are the these are all the monitored users. And if you favorite them, they tend to appear on your summary page. So here you're able to see that this user has the worst application experience score. Their user location is Kirkland. They're connecting to US West as a Prisma Access location. And if you want to kind of drill deeper into why their experience scores that is pretty bad, you can go into their page. Here, you'll notice that we have enabled monitoring for these applications for this user, right? So we're looking at Figma, Okta, PeopleSoft, Slack, MS Teams, Salesforce, what have you. And we're actually noticing that Figma, Okta, and PeopleSoft are performing really badly with respect to their application experience. And on the network topology, we're able to tell them that the issue lies somewhere around their internet connection, Prisma Access, and the application itself. So here, their application score for all applications here, you can see a trend line of Aaron Edwards' experience on Dropbox, or because we've selected Dropbox in this case. Apologies for that. Yeah. If you select Figma, you're going to be able to see experience score for all applications, the average, and the experience score for that specific application. Now let's kind of drill deeper into why Dropbox is showing us 20, where the issue might lie. So here we're noticing that the synthetic tests collect or capture all the metrics, and the metrics indicate that the device seems to be fine, the Wi-Fi seems to be fine, in the local network, their latency, jitter, packet loss seem to be doing okay, but their internet seems to be witnessing a really high latency. Yeah, mostly it's the extremely high latency here that we're seeing. Even Prisma Access seems to be noticing real high latency, and the application itself seems to be noticing an extremely high latency, time to first byte and time to last byte. So let's click into this and look at the metrics. At some point, the network latency, jitter, packet loss look like this. And the network latency seems to be really, really high for a while now, from 6 to 8:30. By clicking on every path, every hop of this path, you're going to see the metrics that we capture by running synthetic tests across this hop. And your network performance metrics for the application itself. There's availability, there's network latency, there's jitter, and there's packet loss. And again, here, network latency seems to be way higher than the regular threshold we have, which is an indicator of a good performance level. So there's something going on here that we need to dig deeper into. So let's go into the path visualization and see, what is going on there. Let's look at all the hops, for instance. And here in these hops, you're actually noticing, every hop that's a part of your application delivery chain. And you're noticing starting, right after you land, when you're starting to connect to internet, your latency tends to be really high, all the way up until Prisma Access. And then your application seems to be witnessing, the destination node itself seems to be witnessing a really high latency and jitter. So we can certainly assess that this person has internet issues that they need to call up their ISP providers to fix. That is one isolation that we can do here. And that seems to be happening for at least 4 apps that he's noticing. And a quick glance of the applications page itself. In this applications page, you're going to see the traffic distribution across all the applications that were detected in your network, what the bandwidth utilization looks like, what are the total applications in your network, and what their score is. And here you can add an app test. Let's say you want to create a new test to monitor Salesforce or SAP. You can do that here, name it, describe it, and you can choose the specific mobile users that you want to monitor this application for, and select the application entity. Here you look at the specific application to, in this case, Salesforce or SAP, to look at, select the application and save it. What that does is it adds another application test, and we then start collecting metrics for that application across the mobile users that you have chosen. The settings page lets you get a view of who your users are, what their monitoring state is. You can enable or disable ADEM from here, their endpoint agent version. You can also look at auto upgrade for each of these users, or actually manually go in and upgrade. So we do keep pushing in endpoint upgrades, ADEM upgrades once in a while, to push out new features, or if there are any issues that we've noticed in the field, fixes for that get rolled out, and you can choose to either upgrade it and at your own convenience or timeline, or you can choose to auto upgrade, at which point every time the user connects to Globe Protect, the ADEM installer will ensure that the newest agent gets updated on the device. And here you're going to see what the, across all the metrics we capture, what is the weightage that we give for each of the metric? Because if you want to go deep dive into how the experience score is calculated, this is one way you can get there. And you can also, over time, we don't have the capability yet, but this is going to be customizable over time. We're working on it as we speak. Furthermore, you're going to get a view of license details, how many licenses you've purchased, how many are available to roll out, how many application tests, etc. And with remote networks, you're going to see another added page, another added section on this page that also tells you about remote network license details. I think that's pretty much what I had with respect to demo, and I want to make sure that we have time left for questions. So that's about it. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to take them on the Q&A. But other than that, that's about it for the demo from my side.